Hello everyone and welcome to the class. My name is Audrey and today, as you can see, is a vocab lesson about phrasal verbs. Okay, phrasal verbs are those verbs that are very commonly used in speech, also used in formal conversations and in writing, but most commonly used in speech. And they're those verbs that make us sound more fluent in the language. Okay, so there's hundreds, if not thousands, of phrasal verbs to learn. Today we're going to learn just a few of them, but hopefully the ones that we do learn you're going to be 100% clear on. You'll be able to use them and understand them. Okay, so while we're going through the class, be sure to ask any questions that you have. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And hopefully, even those in the chat can ask questions as well if you draw my attention to the questions in the chat, and I will answer those as well. Okay? So let's see who we have. We have, help me with your name. Is it Beata? Are you there? Beata?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Nice to see you. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you very well.
Perfect.
What about you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for asking. And did I say your name okay? Could you pronounce your name for me so I don't say it wrong?
B-E-A-T-A.
Right. And how do you say it?
Beata.
Beata. Excellent. And where are you from?
I'm from Poland. I live in Krakow.
Oh, excellent. Nice to have you in class. Okay. We also have Shinobu. Are you there?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you very
Yeah,
well.
super.
Excellent, excellent. You said this is your first class?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. And where are you from?
I'm from Japan.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, it's wonderful to have you here. I hope that this becomes a wonderful experience for you.
Thank you.
And Beata, is this your first class as well? I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, we also have Michele, how are you?
Fine, teacher. How are you?
Very good. It's been a while. Long time no see.
Yes.
Excellent. Nice to see you. And from Italy, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay, excellent. Welcome back. I know it's kind of hard to see my face because the sun is coming up, so I apologize for my bad picture quality. But as long as you can hear me, that's okay.
Yes, I can hear you very fully.
Okay, perfect. We also have Igor. Welcome, Igor.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Excellent. Nice to see you as well.
Nice to see you, John. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Those of you who are watching, feel free to join the class. It's always great to join the class at the beginning rather than the end so that you can get the full benefit. And at the end, we will review what we've learned, okay? So let me go ahead and put the screen up. And some of these are more common. Some of them I've used in other classes. So I've kind of compiled some of the most common phrasal verbs. Hopefully some of them are new to you. Otherwise, this will be a great review for you to get any questions answered from some of these common phrasal verbs. Okay, again, all of them are very commonly used, so they should be very helpful for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and place this link in the Verbling chat so that you can access it. But if you like, you can just follow along on my screen. So click on my screen at the bottom, and that screen will stay up, so you don't have to follow on your own screen if you prefer. Okay, so the first one we are starting with is to end up. Okay, to end up. And those of you who are new for my phrasal verb classes and other vocab classes, instead of looking at definitions, we look at example sentences, okay? And I'll have you read the example sentences, and you can try to guess or find the meaning within the context. Okay, so even if you've never seen it before, read the sentence to us and try and think about what it might mean given the example sentence and the context. Okay, so we're going to start first with Beata. Would you read this one to end up for us? I think your microphone is muted. You might need to click on the microphone button above the verbal chat.
Yes,
Okay,
sorry.
there we go.
Sorry.
No problem.
And first time, so we couldn't get tickets from Egypt, so we ended up going to Turkey instead.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So we couldn't get tickets to Egypt, but we ended up going to Turkey. Okay, have you seen this phrasal verb before, Beata?
No, I haven't.
That's okay. What do you think, based on the example sentence, based on the context, it means to end up or to end up doing something?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's no possibility to go to Egypt, so we decided to go to Turkey.
Okay, so we decided because it's not possible to go to Egypt. Okay, so that's close. Anybody else want to give a more precise definition? What does it mean to end up or to end up doing something?
When you do something that you wouldn't do before.
Right, so when you do something that you wouldn't do before, usually when you have a change of plans.
Yes.
Okay, you have a change of plans or something unexpected happens, and that was the end result. Okay, so we wanted to go to Egypt, or we wanted to go to Egypt, but we couldn't get tickets. So instead of our original plan, we ended up going to Turkey. Okay, so the final result was that we went to Turkey, even though it wasn't the original plan. Okay, what do you think, Beata? Does it make sense?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. So let's see if we can use this one in another sentence. Does anybody want to try another example sentence using this one, to end up?
So what is the meaning of this phrasal verb?
Does anybody want to try and explain? Somebody who understands it perfectly can practice explaining. Maybe not. Maybe I'll give you the definition. Well, Jeffrey here in the chat says the final decision. Okay, so that could be similar. But when you end up doing something, it means you changed your plans and that was the final result. Okay, so look at Wanderson's example there in the chat. I wanted to be an engineer, but I ended up being a translator. So his plans were to be an engineer, but the final result was that he ended up being a translator.
Can we end up in another construction of sentence? I mean, not in this. I was in something in the past and now in the present.
Okay, so give us an example of it.
Future. Can we do this? Present and future.
Yeah, try and give an example. And
no,
I'll
I
see.
can't. I can't.
Oh,
I
you can't.
ask. Yeah,
Oh,
I ask.
Okay. So for example, right now I'm a teacher, but I will end up being president. You could say that.
I may end up.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Because
so
you
yeah,
do not know for sure if you will be.
I know for sure. I think it's true.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Okay, but
I would want to have your to be sure like you. about my future?
Yes. Okay. Well, that's a great question, and you can use it just like that. You can use it talking about the present and saying what might or will happen in the future. Okay. I might or may end up, or I will end up if you're sure.
For example, now he is a construction worker, but after 10 years he may end up as a director.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I
Any
understand.
other questions about this one? Okay, we have a few more students joining us. I just want to welcome you. Amir, how are you?
Fine.
Excellent, nice to have you. Where are
Thank
you
you.
from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Okay, perfect. We also have Antonio. How are you, Antonio? I think your microphone is muted. If you click that microphone button above the verbling chat. We still can't hear you. Your microphone might be muted on your computer. So try and unmute your microphone, okay? Again, if you have that red button above the verbling chat, make sure to click it. But I'll come back to you in a second, okay? So I hope you get your microphone fixed. And let's see, we also have, help me with the pronunciation, Rosgar?
Yes, hello, good morning, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Okay, excellent. And how do you say your name? Can you say it for me?
Yes, my name is Rosgar.
Okay, perfect. So excellent. Excellent. Nice to see you. So let's go to the next one. End up. I hope that one's clear. And again, at the end of the class, we'll have some time to review. The next one we have is to egg on. And this one is for you, Igor. Would you read it for us?
The other students egged him on when he started arguing with the teacher.
Okay, excellent. So what do you think it means to egg on someone?
I don't know from this sentence.
Okay, so imagine a student starts...
What is egg?
Sorry?
Egg is egg, yes?
Right, the literal meaning of egg, like the food that comes from
Yeah.
chicken. Okay, but it doesn't make sense really in this case.
But verb egged.
Right, to egg someone on. I'm not sure what the verb means. We still have the original meaning of an egg. Okay, but let's think about the context. So the student starts to argue with the teacher, and the other students are in, well, I almost gave away, but the other students are encouraging him. Okay, they want him to continue arguing with the teacher.
Okay.
So to egg someone on means to encourage them, usually in bad behavior.
Okay.
Okay, so arguing with the teacher shouldn't be acceptable in school. So even though he's doing something bad, the other students are encouraging that bad behavior.
That's why I didn't understand the meaning of this phrasal verb, because sentence is not right.
Okay.
I mean, it's right, but in bad way.
Maybe you needed a little bit more detail to be able to understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. So to egg on means to encourage some bad behavior.
Yeah.
Any questions about this one? To egg on. Okay. And Antonio, did you get your microphone fixed?
Could we use it instead of support?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Excellent. Nice to see you. And where are you from?
I'm Italy. I'm Italian, from Italy.
Okay. Perfect, perfect. Michele, did you have a question?
Sorry. Could we use egg on instead of support?
Yes, but remember that egg on is encouraging bad behavior. Okay?
Oh, yes.
So it's only for bad behavior.
Now I got it.
Right. So maybe if some young kids are vandalizing a building, their friends or people on the street could egg them on. They could encourage that bad behavior. Okay, so it's only used for negative things, for negative behavior.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, let's go next to face up to. To face up to. And Michele, could you read it for us?
Yes. To face up to. Many people find it hard to face up to the fact that they are getting old. It's true.
Excellent. So what do you think it means then?
I think that it should mean accept.
Perfect, perfect. To face up to or to accept something. Okay, exactly. Any questions there?
No.
So let's see if we can practice with an example. Anybody in the class, what is something that is difficult for you to face up to?
For example, sentence. He can't face up traffic jams.
Okay, he can't face up. Remember, we need that word to. He can't face up to. And it's usually something that is maybe more difficult to accept. Okay, so traffic jams wouldn't be the perfect way to use it. It's still okay, but maybe something that is difficult to accept or that they don't want to believe. Okay, so traffic jams, they can believe because they're in one, right? They know that it's true and they know that it's happening. So it's something maybe they don't want to believe.
It is hard for me to face up to quit job.
Okay, good, good. So you could say it's right. It's hard for me to face up to, and you would say quitting my job.
Yes.
Quitting my job. Okay, excellent. So if you have to quit your job for some reason, you might say it's hard for me to face up to that. You don't want to believe or accept that you have to quit your job. Okay, perfect, perfect.
なんかすごい日本人らしいこと言ってしまった。
Any other questions
Fine.
or
Yeah.
examples you might want
Can I
to
make a
ask about? Sure, go ahead. You can make a sentence, Amir. Are you there? Okay, I'll come back to you in a second.
Yeah.
So let me know if you're still there.
Can you hear me?
You might. Oh. Yes, now we can hear you. Can
I
you
think
hear
there is
me?
any problem with my network. Anyway, if
Oh yeah, there might be some connection problems. But go ahead. Okay, we'll come back to you again, Amir. It seems like there are some problems. Okay, Wonderson, you have a good example before you leave. We have to face up to phrasal verbs or face up to learning phrasal verbs. So it might be tedious, but we have to face up to it. We have to accept that we need these. Okay, perfect. Next we have this one, to fall back on. And Pawan, welcome to the class. How are you?
Hello, ma'am. I'm fine. How are you?
Great. It's nice to see you. Would you like to read this one, to fall back on?
Yeah, sure. Fall back on. It was good to have some money in the bank to fall back on when I lost my job. I think just a minute. It was going to have some money in the bank. It means support for supporting. When I fall back, it means when I crash in money, when I lost my wealth.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. So it's almost like you said, when you crash or when you are broke, you have something else to support you. Okay, you have something else you can rely on. Okay, so to fall back on something or to depend on something. So usually like a plan B, we could say. So you were
Yeah.
working to support yourself, and when you lost your job, you had a plan B. You had something, a backup to support yourself.
In a hard time, always piggyback work.
Right, right. Okay, great. So any questions about this one? To fall back on.
No.
Okay, very good. You can also use it, just as a note, you can also use it for people. So you could say, I'm glad I had my mother to fall back on. So even if you
Huh?
lost all your money, you had your mother to help support you when you were in a difficult situation. Okay, hi
Hello?
Mon, welcome. Are you with us, Mon? Okay, I'll come back to you in a second. I think maybe your connection is slow as well. No problem. Any other questions with this one to fall back on, or if you'd like to give example sentences? Okay, let's go to the next one. To fill in for. To fill in for. Shinobu, would you read it for us?
Yes, I was away for a few days, so they had to get someone to fill in for me.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So what do you think? What do you think this one could be? They had to get someone to fill in for me.
So they had to get someone to fill in for me to help me when I was away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's close. That's close. So imagine that you have a job and you're going to be away for a few days, but somebody still needs to do that job. Okay, so when they get somebody to do your job, it means they got someone to fill in for you, to take that position for you.
Oh,
Okay, so very close to what you said, to help you, but maybe in this case to replace you or to fill in, replace your position.
Can you say if someone
Hello?
is excluded from that job, how to say it's fired, and to say that they find a new person to fill in?
Right, exactly. So it can be both for temporary changes. So in this sentence, it says, I was away for a few days. But you can also use it if someone is fired. They need to find a replacement. So they need to find someone to fill in for that person.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions? Okay. Let's go next to get around to. To get around to. Amir, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to read this one?
Yeah, of course. Uh, but but I can't see anything in the screen. Oh yeah, it's okay now. To get around to, it always takes him ages to get around to replying to emails.
Okay, great. Just this word here should be replying. Replying.
Replying.
Okay, great. So it takes him ages to get around to replying to emails. What do you think, Amir? What do you think it means to get around to?
Understand its meaning.
To organize?
not to organize.
To be
It takes
organized.
him ages, meaning it takes him a long time. It takes him a long time to get around to replying.
To
Any
start?
other ideas?
To do something.
Okay, to do something. But what else?
To start.
To start. Amir, you're having problems with your microphone. It's hard to hear you. But if you would type it in the chat, I'll look at whatever you type in the chat. Okay, and Igor, you said to start, to do something, or to start, and that's very close. It just needs something a little bit extra to make it perfect. Okay, Amir, you said to find free time. Again, really close. To get around to. To get around to something means to do something eventually. Okay? So it takes him ages, it takes him a long time to eventually start replying for these emails. Okay, so it's something that maybe you are avoiding or you're putting off until the last minute. So I finally got around to replying to your email. Okay, usually something that somebody doesn't want to do or they're too lazy to do, it takes them a long time to get around to doing it, or to eventually, finally doing it. Okay, so with that in mind, let's think of other examples just to make it perfectly clear. So anybody have an example? What's something that you need to get around to? Any ideas? Would you like me to give you another example? So maybe if I hate doing laundry, I could say it takes me 2 weeks to get around to doing my laundry. Okay? It takes me 2 weeks to finally or eventually do my laundry because I hate doing laundry.
Okay.
Okay? Is it a little bit more clear?
Yes.
No, it's clear perfectly.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't tell. It's too silent.
Something what you need to do, but you do not have time, or maybe you do not want really. So you do this.
And we all just listen your beautiful voice. That's why we are silent.
Well, okay. Well, tell me, after you listen to my voice, tell me, okay, that's great.
Answer something.
Okay, perfect. So, let's look at the next one then. We have to get out of, to get out of. And Antonio, would you read it for us?
Yeah. To get out of, John said he wasn't feeling well, so he could get out of doing the extra work.
Okay, excellent. So let's imagine in this example that John is lying. So even though he was feeling okay, he said he wasn't feeling well, so he could get out of doing extra work. What do you think, Antonio? What do you think it means to get out of something?
He can do more. Can
Escape.
no, I think no escape. I think more money, more. He can work again to get extra money.
Okay, so he doesn't want to do the work. He doesn't want to work. Maybe he's a lazy guy. So he said he wasn't feeling well. And it is similar to what you said, Igor. You said escape. Amir, in the chat, you said to avoid doing something. Okay? That's a great way of putting it. So to get out of something is to avoid doing something.
It's similar to side.
To side or to side?
Outside.
Okay. Maybe if you mean to go outside of doing something or to get outside of doing something. Okay, right. So we're trying to avoid doing something or escape an obligation.
Can you say, for example, I want this week I want to get out of studying English.
Exactly. But you shouldn't because you love studying English.
Yeah, of course. I learn here about 5 hours per day minimum.
Well, excellent. Great example. So to get out of or to avoid doing something. Okay. Any other questions, examples? It's clear?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go next to go over. To go over. Beata, would you read it for us?
To go over. We went over all of our notes before the exam.
Okay, great. What do you think?
I have no idea.
To check again?
It means
Recheck.
study.
Go ahead, Pawan.
Yeah, it means study all notes before the exam.
Right. Okay, so in this case, when we're talking about notes before an exam, it would mean to study, but not to study extensively, just to kind of look at them, okay? Look at them quickly. So similar to what you said, Igor, and I forgot what you said, but it was good. Could you repeat it?
Recheck.
Right,
Check,
to
recheck.
recheck something, to look over it, maybe if you've seen that. To look over something or go over it. Look again. Okay, so if you have an exam, maybe you've already studied, but you still want to go over your notes one more time. Okay, just to look at them. Okay, any other questions? Let's see if we can get another example. What's something else you might go over other than notes?
I think I should go over my English vocabulary.
Okay, perfect. You want to go over your vocabulary. Excellent. So let's go next to go with. To go with. And this is different from the typical meaning of to go with. So this doesn't mean, for example, will you go with me to a party? It's a little bit different. So Igor, would you read it for us?
Does this tie go with this shirt? It's in this sentence. It means that it fits. It's
right.
Yeah. How it's correct to say fits or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can say the better way to say that is matches. If something matches.
Yeah.
Okay. So does this tie go with this shirt? Meaning, do they match? Do they look good together?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions there? Okay, let's go next.
Can we say, for example, Michael go with Alice? About two persons.
It's typically said more.
They match for each other.
Right. It's more common when you're talking about people to say that they go well with each other. And they go well with each other.
Okay.
You can either say they go well with each other or they are good together.
Okay.
So you can use it for people, although it's more common to use it for items.
Okay.
Okay, but that's an excellent question. And next we have Amir, just looking in the chat, that's a good example. The blue shirt goes with you, okay? Michele, could you read the next one?
Yes. To grow apart. We used to be best friends in elementary school, but we have grown apart. I think that it means that we didn't spend a lot of time, that we didn't have, that we, yes, I did, that we didn't hang out very often.
Mm-hmm. So what happened to the relationship?
The relationship break down, I think.
Uh-huh. Exactly, exactly. So, and just like you said, nothing horrible happened in the relationship, but we didn't have time together. We couldn't spend time together, and maybe we changed over time. We slowly and gradually grew apart. Okay? So, excellent. So it's not like you got into an argument and you didn't want to be friends anymore. In this case, this is just the sad thing that happens sometimes in our friendships when we lose contact. We grow apart. Okay?
That's okay.
Questions about this one? Or examples, maybe? Okay, let's go next to...
Can we use it only in... Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, can we use it only in human behaviors?
As opposed to, like, animals?
Yes, animals are in figurative way.
Okay, you could use it for animals. Almost everything that you can use for humans, you can use for animals if you talk about the animals as having personalities. Okay? So sometimes people think of animals more as objects, and sometimes people think of them more as characters with personalities. So it depends on your view. If you think of animals as having personalities and character, then you could use, maybe if you had two dogs and they were separated, you say they grew apart.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Next, let's go to hand down. And Pawan, could you read it for us?
Yeah. That jewelry has been handed down in her family for generations. It means giving to next generation.
Exactly. Okay, to hand something down or to give it to the next generation. Okay, perfect. Any questions there? So sometimes we even use it if an older brother gives their clothes to a younger brother. We use that phrase a lot of times. They're handing their clothes down to their brothers. So even if it's not the next generation, they're giving something to somebody who is younger. And so we say handing it down.
Can we use this phrasal verb with the elders? If I give something to my elders, so can I use this phrasal verb?
Yeah, if you give something to your eldest child, yeah, you could say you handed it down. If it was maybe a watch or property, no matter what, if you gave it to somebody who's younger than you, for them to continue passing it down, you could say you handed it down.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Sorry, then do you say second hand?
Right, there's that term second hand, but this is typically a little bit different. Second hand usually means when you get it from somebody else who's not in your family. So if you're shopping, you could go to a second hand store, which might have furniture that other people gave away. Okay, so usually we don't say second hand when we refer to staying in the family. Okay, because if it stays in the family, it's still always been in that family. But if it transfers to another family, then we might say second hand.
I see.
Excellent question, though. Any other questions? Okay, let's go next to hear out. Usually to hear someone out. And Shinobu, would you read it?
Yes. To hear out. Hear me out before you say anything. There is a good explanation.
Okay, excellent. So what do you think in this example it might mean to hear me out?
Hear me out before you say anything. You have to hear me good. Nah, I don't say. I don't know how to say.
Listen to me.
Right, listen to me. What else?
Let's say
Don't speak
something.
over me.
Yeah, let me say something. Michele, what did you say?
Please don't interrupt me.
Right, you don't want somebody to interrupt them. Antonio, I see in the chat you said to hear anything or to hear something completely. Okay, and that's a good way to put it as well. So hear me out or listen to everything I have to say. Don't interrupt me, let me finish. Okay.
So
Go
it
ahead,
means
Kawan.
let me speak first.
Maybe not let me speak first, but wait until I finish and listen to everything I have to say.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you say, hear me out. You're saying, just wait until I explain. Let me explain everything, and then you can think what you will. You can talk.
Can we say this expression, a sentence with this expression to a person in, for example, in a company who is higher hierarchy than me, for example, who is my boss, basically speaking. Can we say something like that? Not be offend for them?
Right. It's not really an offensive or impolite thing to say. So it can be a polite way of saying it. You could say, please hear me out, or please listen to what I have to say.
Or could you possibly hear me out?
Yes, if you want to be very careful. You don't want to get fired. Is there any way you could possibly, maybe, hear me out?
Exists more polite to say than could you possibly? Exist? We have in English or no? More polite than this.
I don't think that's pretty polite. So that's probably one of the most polite ways that you could ask it.
For example, could you possibly mute your microphone when you are not speaking?
Right. Perfectly proper to say that. Very
One
kind.
teacher here on Verbling say something like that to students.
Yes, we don't want to be rude. We don't want to sound rude here.
Yeah, but in a way that it's a joke. We learned this expression, could you possibly, and he said in that lesson always this expression.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Any other questions about this one? To hear out or to hear someone out? Okay, let's go next to hit it off. And let's see. The student after Shinobu on the end, I can't read your name, but welcome to the class. How are you? I think your microphone might be muted. You might have to click on that microphone icon above the Verbling chat. Okay, just let us know if you can talk. We can't hear you just yet, but just let us know. Let's go to Amir. Are you there? Okay, we'll go to Antonio. Could you read this one for
hope
us
my
to hit it
microphone is-
off? Oh, yes, now we can hear you, Amir. So could you read this
hit
one for us?
it off. We hit it off from the moment we met each other.
Okay, excellent. We hit it off from the moment we met. What do you think it means?
I don't know.
It's okay. Any ideas from the rest of the class?
No, it's a hard one.
I think it is. I'm very confused. To get on well or to don't get on well?
Right, that's a good question
I'm not
because
really sure.
you can't really tell from the example if they like each other or if they hate each other. But to hit it off means to get along well. Okay?
Yeah.
So we hit it off from the moment we met each other. It means there was some kind of instant connection and you always got along. You were friends. Okay?
Yes.
Questions here or examples you might like to ask about? Okay, let's go next. Oh, this is the end. Okay, so it's time to review. If you had any questions, I'll just ask you right now if you had any specific questions, and if not, then we'll just review for the next couple minutes at the end, okay? So look back at the presentation and see if you had any specific questions. Again, I'll post the presentation in the chat, and I'll just wait a couple seconds or maybe a minute to let you review those that are in the presentation and ask any questions that you had. So maybe if you forgot one or if you just didn't quite catch the meaning, you're not 100% sure, go through the presentation and ask me if you have any questions, okay? So I'll just wait for a second if you'll please do that. Okay, so anybody while you're looking through, do you have any questions, specific questions? Everything's okay for the most part?
Get out of, could you remind?
To get out of, so to remember to get out of doing something. So to get out of means to avoid doing something or escape from obligation.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so for example, I want to get out of doing the dishes. So I told my sister I broke my arm. Okay, any other questions?
No, no questions.
Okay, excellent. So let's spend the rest of the time practicing making questions to each other so we can practice using them in conversation. Okay, so we'll start with the first one, to end up. And what I mean by questions, if you haven't joined the class like this before, is try and choose somebody in the class to ask a question to them and they will answer you. So you have to use this phrasal verb. For example, if I was going to ask you a question, Beata, using this one to end up, I might say, Beata, did you end up finishing your homework? Okay, and you would say what? How would you respond?
Not yet, but I try to do it.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so that is to end up. So We'll go next to Igor with end up. Could you ask somebody else a question using to end up?
Michael.
Michele, here I am.
Michael, sorry. What is the most difficult thing that you can end up? No, this doesn't make sense. Yes, Audrey.
It's close. So maybe let me think.
What
You could
is
say,
the
go
most?
ahead.
What is the most? What is the thing when you can end up?
Okay, so maybe like, what is something difficult that you ended up doing? You could say that.
Yeah. What is most difficult that you ended up doing?
So
Sorry.
maybe something to explain the question a little bit more. It could be something that you didn't plan on doing, but you ended up doing it, and it was difficult.
I think it is to to go on a tree to cut an arm tree. I think so.
A branch of the tree?
A branch of the tree, sorry.
No
An
problem.
arm tree.
No problem. Okay, excellent. So for some reason you had to go up on the tree and cut a branch?
Because he was trying to go inside my house. There was a lot of wind, and he was breaking down, and I had to cut him.
Ah, excellent, excellent. So you didn't plan on climbing the tree and removing the branch?
No.
You just ended up doing it. Okay, perfect, perfect. So let's go next to egg on. And Michele, try and ask somebody in the class a question using to egg on.
Egg on. Shinobu, have you ever tried? Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to egg on your son to break a window? It's not an easy question, I think.
When my sons break my window, I don't understand exactly.
Sorry, I said that if you ever tried to egg on your sons to egg on a window. So sorry, to break down a window.
So remember, to egg on means to encourage something bad, to encourage bad behavior. So Michele wants to know if you've ever encouraged your sons to break a window.
I suppose not. I hope so.
I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. So remember, to egg on means to encourage some kind of behavior, usually a bad behavior.
Yes.
So remember here, the student egged him on when he was arguing. So the question was, and we hope the answer is no, have you ever encouraged or supported that your sons break a window? So have you ever said, hey, let's break this window, it's going to be fun?
How should I say? No, I didn't.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, excellent. So let's look next to face up to. To face up to. And Shinobu, would you like to ask somebody in the class a question using this one?
Okay, then Beata.
Yes.
So, how, no, what kind of thing is for you hard? No, what kind of thing is hard for you to face up to? Is it
It's
correct?
Yes, perfect.
I understand. Okay, I try to answer. I think it's very things, but I think that it's very difficult to me to face up that my children it's big now.
Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so it's hard for you to face up to the fact your children are growing. They're big. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's do a couple more. Next we have to fall back on. To fall back on. And Beata, would you like to ask somebody in the class?
I try. Maybe Igor. Maybe Igor.
Yes.
Please tell me what did you do to fall back on your future? Is that correct?
Right, it would be maybe what do you have to fall back on in the future? So what do you have to support yourself? Remember, fall back on is like something that you have to depend on or to support you, like a plan B.
Okay. I have not. How to say that? I have nothing to fall back on.
Right. I have nothing to fall back on. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
I
dangerous.
have nothing to fall back on.
Okay.
I'm very poor.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully we get a plan B. We get something to fall back on. Maybe a friend that can help you.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. And let's go next to Pawan. Would you ask a question using to fill
Okay.
in for?
But there is a problem, ma'am. I forgot the meaning of this.
That's okay because I'm
I
sure
will
your
explain.
classmates will help you. Yes, go ahead,
Yeah.
Igor.
That when in a job where you work in a place, for example, if a person is not at the job or he's fired from that job, company finds another person to substitute that person. So we name this to fill in for example, James. Today James will fill in for another person.
Perfect, perfect. Excellent explanation and example.
Okay, so it means hire a new candidate for a job.
It can either mean to hire or to just have a temporary substitute.
Okay.
Okay?
So my question is, who's ready for question? Okay. Ma'am, for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you face in your life any fill-in for?
So you want to ask if I had to fill in for someone or if someone else had to fill in for me?
You. Yes, for you.
Okay, so yeah, sometimes I've been sick at work and somebody had to fill in for me. So I had to find somebody to fill in or else I might be in trouble.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So we're going to stop there. Time is up, but let me again just post that link just in case in the chat if you'd like to continue reviewing the ones that we did learn. I hope everything was clear for you. Thank you especially Beata and Shinobu for having your first class here on Verbling. I hope it was pleasant for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And
Thank you very much.
yes, to all of you, I hope to
Yes,
see you
very
soon, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.